I have to fart, so I want to see if I could do this entire episode without farting. Probably not going to happen, but I want to be professional. I did do something today. My girl, I've never, what is it, Dutch oven someone, where like you fart and hold their head under the blanket. What I did do is probably worse. I I farted into my hand, and then I made my girlfriend smell my hand, and she is still currently dating me. We'll see what happens. Anything can happen by the end of the day, but as of right now, still doing pretty well. So let's hope that doesn't ruin it. But you know what could ruin it? Stinky, sweaty balls, and Manscaped fixes that. And you know what else helps the relationship? Marijuana. TheFreezePipe.com. Yep. If you smoke, they're great for you. I'm going to tell you about both of my sponsors in 2 seconds. Well, not 2 seconds. About 20 minutes, probably. I also want to let you know that, yes, I am aware that I wear this shirt almost every Sunday. Do I do it on purpose? No. I used to wear Patriot shirts, but I am a superstitious person, and we lost, I feel like, every game that I wore a Patriot shirt on a Sunday. So I feel like I can't wear Patriot shirts on Sundays anymore, and I've been switching to the Red Sox shirt and other shirts, and ever since I stopped wearing Patriots attire on Sundays, we haven't lost. So you could blame me for the early part of the season, but I feel like now I'm the reason why the Patriots are winning. Bill Belichick, Mac Jones, it's my shirt. My shirt is winning the game. I really am superstitious like that though. Like if we're watching the game, by the way, so I didn't really do this during the fights. I did watch the fights last night, really good. I do have a thought on one of them though. But if we're watching a game and I care about it, if I'm like doing something and I'm like I end up just sitting still and then bad stuff happens, I'll have to move. Or if we're doing really well and I'm still, and then as soon as I move, something bad happens, I will be really still until good stuff starts happening again. Probably shouldn't. I don't wear this. That's the one thing I won't do is wear the same underwear every week because that's disgusting. I just can't. I bring so much underwear when I travel anywhere that it seems like I'm hoarding underwear like people did with toilet paper. It seems like I have a fetish for underwear, and instead of sexy women's underwear, it is disgusting men's underwear. I bring so much. Which, by the way, I have a lot I want to tell you. Let's get into the fight, I guess, first. Real quick, the one thing that I haven't heard people talk about, and I'd love your opinion on, is I was watching the fights. Spoiler, if you didn't watch UFC 269, or I think it's 269. I'm almost positive. Fast forward for 15 seconds or go watch the Amanda Nunes fight. They kept saying it was the biggest upset in MMA history, and I haven't even been involved in MMA for that long, comparatively. But I'm not involved in it at all. I just like to eat snacks and watch other people fight. And I know for one of them, he broke his leg, but I thought that they should have been talking about Weidman versus Silva a little bit more. Not that Nunes, and this wasn't surprising, but I just didn't know if it was the biggest. My opinion, who knows? I also want your opinion on something else. Where should people live in this country? Because I'm not sure if anywhere is good. You know how I love Boston. Go Boston. Yeah, fuck yeah, Red Sox and Patriots. Also, forgot if I mentioned that I've been wearing this shirt a lot for these episodes because I've done this intro 44 times. I wish I was joking. I'm not. So if I didn't, I'm sorry I'm wearing the shirt again. If I did, I also apologize because of marijuana, and I've done this 44 times. Am I high now? No. Do I have residual marijuana in my system? Almost 100%, because all those edibles I did for years. Did I take an edible today? Not yet, because I ate so much this week. So I had a cool week, actually. Somewhere in the Northeast, I don't want to give out too much because you guys are silly gooses, and you'll send, I don't know, gummy bears to my new office. But somewhere in the Northeast, I am working now, and it was my second full week, and I went there to work this week, and it was a lot of fun. This is my first adult job, and that's weird. Like every other job I've had I've had a lot of fun jobs, but there's not really office etiquette. You don't wear like regular pants. There were like, should I tell you? We never wore pants on the church. I challenge you to prove to me that we wore pants. I don't know if you know this. Joey and I would wear thongs every day. That's how we were so open and free, and just we had to burn every week. I had to burn chairs. Every week we had a new chair, and you can't prove that we didn't. I, ooh, my this is something else. My girlfriend's 3-year-old today said I had hairy boobies. So that's fun. I had a lot happen. So let me just get back to being at work. So when I first, even before I met Joey, I was working in television post-production, and they, at that point, who knows if they did anymore, but the Christmas parties are open bar because everyone who makes television has some sort of substance problem, whether that be drinking, food, marijuana, cocaine, depression. Is depression a drug? It could be, I guess. But yeah, everyone drinks, and drinks for free. So, but my mom back then, I was just out of college, and she's like, you can't drink, you're gonna look bad. And turns out everyone drinks. So there's peer pressure even when you're 33. That's fun. But I had a good week. I forget what I was telling you guys about. I know where I was. I was at work, and we went out to drink a couple times, and I thought, I didn't know like that people were gonna be cool at offices. I thought everyone was gonna be like he, him, z's, or none of that. That'd be weird. But I did have, trying to make a good impression, right? And nervous about my internet search history. Let's just put it that way. Or no, rewind that. Not my search history. My search history is, I'll tell you right now, food, Pornhub, and news. That's really all I do online anymore. In that order, probably. Just a rotation of food, Pornhub, and news. Sometimes news on Pornhub, but never food with Pornhub, because that would make me sad. But we went out to drink the first night I was there. Not to get hammered, be like an adult, get one drink. And turns out that they had seen the church, which was scary, but good to know, because that would be fun if like I started liking a job and then they just randomly saw episodes of the church. I would love to see how fast you'd get fired. Could you get fired for something that's sort of like I'd be my version of getting canceled, because it happened. I mean, the last episode was over a year ago, but I didn't get as fucked up for the last couple years. I guess they could fire me if they wanted to, but they're not going to. But we talked about it, and we talked about some of my favorite guests. We talked about Rogan, whatever. And as we were getting up, this young child and his mother came. And why were they at a bar? I don't know. But, so this is what happened. It doesn't happen to me a lot at all, really, anymore, that people recognize me. It feels great when it happens, usually. 99% of the people are nice. So let's just assume it feels great all the time. There's no way to say this without seeming like a douche, so I'm sorry, but trust me, there's payoff at the end, because my, my douchiness gets kicked out from under me like a chair under also old me. You can kind of sometimes tell that someone's excited to talk to you. Not necessarily that they want an autograph. I almost never get asked for an autograph, but they usually just say hi, or can I take a picture at most. And I saw that happening. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a really good impression on these new bosses. I'm people know who I am. And this young child, 13, but now that should have been my first clue. And I even remember thinking, I hope this kid wasn't watching the church when I was on it, because it's inappropriate for me. Like, I'm not mature enough to handle what I saw and did on that podcast. But I was like, different parents are different. Maybe he looks young, and he walks up and he goes, "Sorry to interrupt you." And this 100. I have witnesses. Sorry to interrupt you. And I'm just like getting ready. I'm like, yeah, of course I'll take a picture. I'm like already saying it. Like, I'd love us to sign an autograph. Sorry to interrupt you, but you look exactly like Lee Syatt? No. Brad Pitt? No. The Flying Jew? Nope. You look exactly like Mall Cop. Like, as in Paul Blart Mall Cop. I guess it's better to look exactly like, at least, I don't know, a well-known mall cop. And I had one drink, so I wasn't hammered, wasn't even drunk, but I was like a little in my head, or I guess. And I just looked at him, and he's like, "Yeah, you look exactly like mall cop." And I turned to the mother, and she goes, "Yeah, you look exactly like mall cop. And would you do me a favor? It's mother son out night, and we would love to take a picture of you." And I don't know what to do. So where my job is not the most populated area. Is it Montana? No, that's not in the Northeast. But I was before, when I lived in California, this would happen, but like without the mall cop, but like actually me, once or twice the mall cop. By the way, I haven't gotten mistaken for Kevin James, but I've heard that reference a lot, and especially when I'm losing weight, makes me kind of upset. Not mad at them, but they should know that this body, this like temple from the gods, is the best. My body has looked over half of my life, because half of my life would be 16 and a half. Yeah, almost 17. This is the peak of male form right here. And a young child, like under 13 and under, but probably between 13 and 9, I would guess 13 and 8, told me that not only did I sort of resemble Kevin James, I resembled one of his dorkiest characters, and so much so that they wanted to take a picture with me. What did they do with this picture? Who knows? If you live somewhere in the Northeast, or you have family who lives there, and you get a signed Paul Blart Mall Cop picture, you're welcome. Also, I'm sorry that was your present, but that is legit. I don't know. By the way, I don't know if you saw that. That was me completely dropping a lid. So let's hope I don't spill this. How do you respond to "you look like Paul"? No, not even Paul Blart. "You look like Mall Cop." That's what was said to me in public, and they were so convinced of it that they wanted a picture proof of meeting me. They couldn't just tell their friends, "I met someone who looked exactly like Paul Blart." They're like, "No, I need to show them. I need to have proof that there's someone in this world who looks so much like Paul Blart Mall Cop that it was indistinguishable to me between the two people," which is a reason to never diet again, I feel like. Like, why have I been dieting for a little over a year now? If even and the sad part is, this is the best it's been in over half of my life. The last time it was okay like this, junior or senior year. I would guess maybe senior year, maybe right around there. Because I remember probably maybe junior. Because I remember I was weighing in for, I think I think wrestling, and maybe it was just in the same locker room as football. Different seasons, but it was one of the two, and I weighed in at 166 freshman year, and I remember some kid on the team saying, "Look, he's 166. That's not good." And now I would cut off each one of my pinkies, toes, and fingers to be 166. Imagine if one finger was that fat. Like, I'm doing all right, but my fucking pinky finger's 44 pounds. I'm under 200 pounds for the first time in God ever. Like I said, probably at least 15 years, and it feels great. It's a little scary. So when I was at my office this week, turns out that some people enjoy alcoholic beverages. Not everybody and not all the time, but they do enjoy them occasionally. And I've never really been a drinker. It's not a sobriety. Like, obviously, if you thought I was sober, this is not the episode for you. I've just never really been a smoking kind of person. And smoking a little bit more, I guess, than drinking, but drinking is what I meant. Drinking almost never. I very rarely got hungover because I just wouldn't drink. Like, when I was in college, the fact that people went out at least Thursday through Saturday, at the least, like, most dorks go out those nights. Not me, not at least Syatt. I could never drink multiple nights in a row. And it's not, like I said, not that I would get hungover. I might not have. But I just didn't like how it felt. I didn't like being around people that often, which is funny, but true. And how it felt often. And I just didn't really enjoy the process of drinking. It's never really been my... This water is tasteless, and it is more enjoyable to drink than alcohol. You'd be like, "Oh, I love wine with my steak." Are you sure? Are you sure Diet Coke doesn't taste way better because the red wine outpowers the steak, or water would be better, or literally anything? I'd rather have hot chocolate with steak than red wine. And I know you're just drinking the wrong red wine. Maybe, no, I'm not. Maybe it's not my thing, but I digress. So at this new job, second night, I was supposed to be there for one night, 2 days, and it turned into 2 nights in 3 days because, and thank God, they like to have fun. It's not an every night thing. I had one beer on the first night where things got a little bit out of hand for me personally was the next day, because I had no plans to stay for the third day, but when I found out they were having some sort of holiday extravaganza, that's what the invitation said. There was no invitation. They said I could stay another night, so I did, and turns out that I am a big fat pussy. We started drinking at 3 p.m. on a Thursday, blowing up on a dun-dun. I'm having a stroke. I'm sorry. I started drinking at 3 p.m. and also turns out that in more remote areas, some bartenders are a little bit less strict with the amount of alcohol they're putting into drinks. So I had what was supposed to be just a regular Maker's and Diet, which is Maker's Mark and Diet Coke. It's delicious. They gave me a pint glass, which, by the way, I'm used to a rocks cup. So they gave me like 2 to 3-ish, maybe even more than that, drinks in one cup, and I had 2 of those, and we went. This was like the first time. Was it the first time? It was one of the first, if not the first time, that I've done like a multiple bar stop. Like, of course, maybe gone to one other place. I drink so infrequently, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. But I started drinking at 3, went to get sushi, which, by the way, having someone buy you sushi might be the greatest feeling on earth. I'm not even might be. Having someone else pay for your sushi makes me feel like a king because it's fish, it's fancy, it's delicious, it's expensive. I would do dirty things to someone who was like, "Listen, if you want sushi on a daily basis, you're going to have to hug me for 4 minutes a day." Done. I don't know what needs to be done, but that's what I think, honestly, and we're going all over the place, I'm sorry. But you know what, let me actually write that down because I do like that, but I'll finish this story first. So we went to sushi and I drank there, and I know, if you ever see me out drinking and you're like, "Does Lee have a beer?" That's when you know things are not going to plan and Lee's about to do something a little bit silly. Beer has never been my favorite, and I would only ever drink it when I got drunk. And so those pint glass makers and diets, which, by the way, delicious, not complaining, just letting you know, got me a little bit fucked up, and I switched to beer, including a Sapporo at sushi, and then we went to another bar, and I left there at 10 o'clock, which seems early, but when you start at 3 p.m., that's 7 hours of just not aggressive, not like, does Lee have a problem drinking, but 10 drinks, was it? No, it wasn't 10. I think it was like 7 or 8 drinks. It was 1 an hour, basically. Was more than enough. And I was telling this to my coworkers. It's hard. It's a difficult thing to phrase. I understand that there are people who struggle with addiction. I'm one of them. And I'm just lucky that mine happens to be food. I'm in no way saying that like trying to glorify alcoholism. What I will say is I wish I enjoyed drinking a little bit more than I did, because, and let's hope that 13-year-old's not listening, I, under the right circumstances, felt like I would have been okay at being at drinking. Like, drinking might have helped me just overcome a lot of shyness and awkwardity. Is that a word? Being awkward? I'm doing it right now. I am not good at that, and when I would drink, I would be the belle of the ball. Everyone loved me. I'd high five people. This is also I didn't get this. And what I mean by that is I didn't do it the other night. You'll know I'm like hammered and things are going to happen when I start doing, for whatever reason, ever since I was a kid, or not, well, I guess 21's a kid. And I never drank before my 21st birthday. For whatever reason, ever since I've been getting drunk, which is very rare, like maybe once or twice a year, tops. There's definitely been years where I haven't gotten drunk at all. But I know I'm getting drunk when I make that noise, and that noise is the "come here, we're about to have some fun" noise. But I was drinking for 7 hours, and there's 2 things that happen to me when I drink. A, I get hungry, and I when I was in college, I lived in the north end of Boston, and if anyone here lives in the north end, right outside of Government Center, at least back then, there used to be this convenience store with a sandwich shop in the back. I think it was open all night, and I would get steak and cheeses. That's fun. That's fun when you know what you want to say, but your mouth is like, nope. Try it again, and then nope again. I would get these steak and cheeses, and just do terrible, dirty things to them, like just disrespect. Just throw some of the fries on the floor. When I would get hammered, it would not be good. This time I wasn't hammered, but I was having, and this is something that I don't think it's spoken about enough, and it should. Alcohol munchies are a thing, and weed gets a bad rap for inducing munchies, which it does, but eating when you're drunk is another, like, it just, I at 10 o'clock, I was like, guys, I was trying to leave 4 hours ago. I need to rest, not die, because I have to go to this place where we work tomorrow, and I decided to go get something to eat, which by the way, even though it does frustrate me, I can understand why people say, oh, I lost a lot of weight when I stopped drinking. I'm almost positive 7 drinks in 7 hours, and with 7 drinks, I went over the calories that I'm supposed to have for a day while I'm losing weight. And honestly, probably for any day. And I can understand why people lose weight, but I still hate them a little bit because I almost never drink. And cutting out drinking would be super easy for me, but it's not in the cards. But what I did was I'm just so, I still have bad decision-making abilities. So at 10 o'clock, there was nothing open near the hotel. There was one place open, and went there. Not a big salad place, not a big salad city. You know that the salad or the area is not really big into salads when there's more meats and cheeses in the ingredient list than vegetables for a salad, which happens more than you'd think. But I have that thing for steak and cheese when I'm drunk, and there was a place like a 4-minute walk away. I sat there, I got the cheesesteak, and I don't think I can explain to you why and how much I love hotels. Hotels are the best place on the planet. I would live in a hotel if I could. I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors this week before I tell you more about hotels. First sponsor for this week is Manscaped. That is right, Manscaped. As we know, it is the holiday season. I'll tell you more about what I just did last night after this break. But it's the holiday season, and you don't know what to get as a gift or a stocking stuffer. No, you don't. Have you waited? Do you it's hard to buy stuff for people, which I'm going to talk about too. Here's what you're going to get, everyone. You're going to get everyone Manscaped because they have the tools to guarantee you that you're going to win this year's stocking stuffer or white elephant competition, or you know what? You're just going to win the holidays. Whatever present you're giving, they're going to love it because Manscaped has helped serve more than 4 million men's balls worldwide. That's, if my math is correct, 8 million balls. That's a lot of balls. They are the leader in men's below-the-waist grooming, and when you go to manscaped.com and enter code Syatt, SYATT, you're going to get 20% off plus free shipping. That's 20% off plus free shipping at Manscaped. They have all of my favorite products. I have the ear hair trimmer because my ears look like a goblin lives inside them. They also have all of my favorite liquid formulations, the crop preserver, the crop reviver, whatever crops you or your loved one has, they're fixing them. Do me a favor. Go to manscaped.com. Check out all of their products. They have a lot of great products, and you get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com with code Syatt, SYATT. Be the ballsiest gift giver this year with Manscaped. Also, I wanted to give a big shout out. Once your balls are looking and smelling delicious, you are going to want to smoke some weed. You're going to. And I'm here to help you because this episode is brought to you by Freeze Pipe. Give me an R. Freeze Pipe. It's 2021, and if you're still coughing when you're getting high, you're living in the past. With rotary phones, don't do it. I love freeze pipe. I have the bubbler and the bong, but I use mostly the bubbler because it's small and I feel like a scientist when it goes. Freeze pipe, you get an ice cold hit every time. The pipe comes with a detachable chamber, so you don't got to put the whole thing. You don't have to put a whole big setup in your freezer. Your kids will be like, "Mommy and Daddy, what's that?" Mind your business. You talks too much. This makes me love you more. Sorry. It has a detachable chamber that you put in the freezer beforehand. You don't need to, but it's a lot better if you do. I highly recommend that you do this. I know sometimes stoners aren't great planers. Just put it in the freezer. Buy an extra one. Put that in the freezer. Rotate them like underwear. When you're ready to rip, the smoke passes through the frozen part and cools down the smoke you inhale. It's like putting ice cubes into a bong, but better, because now your ice cubes are there for your drinks. Be an adult. You don't use plastic knives anymore. Maybe you do. I kind of do. That was a bad example. But be an adult. You don't need to waste your ice anymore. Save the country. Save the penguins. It's a non-toxic. It freezes faster than water, and it stays frozen longer. So not only are you an adult, you're doing it even better than ice. Freeze pipe cools down the smoke by hundreds of degrees. Your throat will thank you. You've seen me take bong hits. Just type in bong hit Lee Syatt on YouTube. It looks like I'm almost dead. Was it because I was 300 something pounds? That had something to do with it, but it was also because I am terrible at taking hits and I don't like it until I got freeze pipe. If you can smoke from it, freeze pipe makes it. They have pipes, bubblers, bongs, and dabs. You can smoke all of it out of freeze pipe. Do me a favor. Go to thefreezepipe.com. That's thefreezepipe.com and press in code LEE, L-E-E. That's me. And you get to save 10% off of your first order. Get your bong, pipe, or bubbler today. That's thefreezepipe.com and press in code LEE, L-E-E, to save 10%. Thank you so much to Freeze Pipe and to Manscaped. Do I remember what we were talking about before these ads started? Think we were in... Oh, I do. Okay. So, I see... God dang it, I'm good. Kinda. So, I got home from the bar, and I went and got a cheesesteak, and one of the biggest... This is how you know that you like to eat with someone. One of the bigger fights that my ex and I got into is we went on vacation once, like a weekend away, and we got drunk, got McDonald's, and she finished her fries. When I'm high, I eat everything. When I'm drunk, I like to eat, but I also get kind of sloppy, and I just took at the end of my meal, I still had about half a container of fries left, which should tell you something. Probably not that good. Also, probably very hammered. And I threw the fries on the. I didn't like. It's not like rice at a wedding. I just took the sleeve of fries and just sort of relieved them of the bed. I was they weren't on the bed anymore. And she got so mad, not because I was being disgusting, but because she didn't have my fries. So I'm not a big fan of feeling sticky or feeling gross or being gross, but something about being drunk, some people say, oh, their inhibitions go away and they're friendlier and this and that. Yeah, that's true. But also, like, my manners, eating wise, are just, I don't give a shit. I basically, I at the end of this, I disrespected the towels in the hotel room because the cheesesteak, it was kind of the restaurant's fault. I was eating it and it was just kind of falling apart, and It was delicious though, and there were fries, and they didn't give me a fork. And I was in a hotel, and they knew that, so kind of their fault. But I'm not. Joey would always talk about me eating. He would call them, what's the pork? They're called carne asada fries. I forget what the Spanish word for pork is, in from in like Mexican restaurants. But whatever that is, that's what he used to call it. That's what he would say. But it was carne asada, and you eat that with a fork when you're not drunk. And turns out when you're drunk, you just sort of grab it like a giant toddler and shove it in your face. And I haven't had French fries like that probably in the last year. I've had like French fries twice. And one time one of you guys told on me and Joey got mad right when I was at the beginning of my diet. But I just ate one time. I don't know if I was drunk or high for this one, but I had a ketchup packet in bed. Why was I saving it for later? No, I used to eat in bed because I was disgusting. And I remember putting it in my mouth and like popping it and like being half asleep and fucked up. And then like when you eat warm, because of course I was laying on it. When you eat just a pop, like I'm trying to think of a non-disgusting way to say this. When a man and a woman love each other, sometimes one of them will put one of their things in the other person's mouth and it explodes when they do a good job. I had that happen with ketchup, and it was disgusting. But this time I had I had mini rice cakes in bed, and I ate 2 or 3 bags of them at probably 4:30 in the morning. No, not yet. 3:45, because I don't know if this happens to anyone else. When I drink, I don't really get hungover, thank goodness. I do, however, lose the ability to sleep. I've people for a long time tell me, "Oh, I drink to go to sleep. I can't sleep without a drink." I passed the fuck out. I passed out super hard. But I also was up within like 2.5 hours. I was at 3:45. I was just up for the day. Just the entire rest of the day I was up, and it's not good. 3:45. If you wake up before, let me put it this way: when I'm elected leader, because all of the other adults have died, I will make it a rule for the next civilization that you're not allowed to make someone wake up before 7 a.m. That's fair. There's really no reason to do anything before 7 a.m. Frankly, I think it should be 8, and I know you're going to be like, well, some stuff... If you have to wake up before 7 a.m., you should get an extra 20% pay from the government. I would pay taxes into that and then just wake up before 7. I don't know how it would work, but waking up that early sucks. And it was a shitty day. Because you're trying to make a good impression, or I was trying to make a good impression at this new job, and all I really wanted to do was sleep under my desk. I've been taking, I know people are going to get mad at this, but I tell you everything because that's my life. I don't drink coffee. What I have had, and I haven't made a huge habit of it, but I have them in case, is caffeine pills. And I'm allowed to have 4 a day, and I had 2 that day, but it was fun. Not the caffeine pills, those weren't fun, but it was fun. I should have. Oh, that's where I was. We got back there. We did it. We did it. We did it. I never finished this part either. I should have been more into drinking. Not to be an alcoholic, but I feel like I'm a good person to drink with, because I just start getting happy, and like, it was a big move for me, and when I lived in Boston, to just high five people walking down the street, which turns out either makes you really happy or really angry. I wouldn't just assault them with a high five. I would go like, high five. And people who had souls would, give me a high five. And angry motherfuckers would, nah, well, screw you. But it was fun to get to, hang out with people and have them not be super lame. I was worried about that. About going into a new office. Like, literally first time working in an office, and I thought people were going to be, like, just weird. And it turns out, they're not. They do like to drink for 7, and not only did I drink for 7 hours, they stayed out until 1 a.m. and survived. And now, just so you know, that one night of drinking will hold me over. I'm like a camel when it comes to booze. I frankly never have to drink again, and I would probably be just as happy. But 6 months to a year, probably before I drink again, I'll probably only drink with the people from this office. But it was just fun. It was fun to get to go to the new work, to listen to podcasts all day, every day. It's, as I was saying at the beginning, things are just starting to go well, and I'm enjoying it. So, watching those fights, which, by the way, like I said, I did this thing so many times. So if this is a repeat, I'm sorry. I don't think that it is. I watched those fights last night. If you're listening to this in the future, I believe it was 269. The one, spoiler alert, if you didn't watch it, Amanda Nunes lost, and the woman who beat her was like, "Oh, you can do anything," which, by the way, I don't. You can, but you can't. You can, but maybe you shouldn't. That's what I think they should add to that saying. Like, with hard work and willpower and determination, you can do anything you put your mind to. But should you? Probably not. There's a lot of things. Like, I shouldn't be involved in any sort of physical activity. Team, club, it's not meant for me. But I do think everyone can be happy to a point. And I'm bringing this up a lot. I'm not always happy. I'm not outrageously happy. But I just know we've all had some shitty couple of years. And don't get too discouraged. That's all I'm saying. Don't give up. But the thing that it didn't annoy me about that fight, but the thing that annoyed me about the talking after the Amanda Nunes fight, and it is sad. I'm sorry. I don't know who she fought. I know she beat her, but I don't know who Amanda Nunes lost to. What they were saying, the headline I keep seeing is that it was the number one MMA upset ever. Now, I don't know much about UFC. I really don't. I've only been watching it for about 10 years. And that's not me being sarcastic. I don't really follow that many people. I was surprised that they didn't mention Weidman versus Silva and not the time that he hurt his leg, the time he actually knocked him the fuck out. It was surprising, but it wasn't, and I don't know, was Silva undefeated at that point? I don't remember. I know he hadn't lost in a while, and I was looking at Amanda's record, and she's lost like 5 fights. So that was my one little gripe with the UFC last night. But before I left, what I wanted to tell you guys is, I'm going to take a sip of water. This is the last thing that's new in my life. My mom invited my girlfriend and her 2 kids over for Hanukkah last night. And that was, seeing kids open presents is, I think, probably why you have kids. That, and so people will take care of you when you're older. Seeing kids open presents is just, it's just fun. It's like I feel like there should be this might be perfect. I feel like there should be a rule that you can get presents until you can legally rent a car. I was going to go with drink at 21, but at 25, that's when you can rent a car. That's when presents should stop. Presents, I know I sound like a dickhead now. In most situations, are stressful for everyone because the person buying it has to now spend money and imagine what you would want. That's why I think cash gets a bad rap as a gift. Like wrapping paper. Did you get it? I understand that you don't want to tell your friend, like, this is how much I love you is $20, but I don't know what I want until I see it for almost everything. There's very few things that I'm just sitting around like, oh, I wish I had this. I wish I had this. Yeah, you want to get me a yacht? Fuck yeah. But, if you're going to spend $50, $100, let me choose what shirt I want. And I feel like I'm shitting on gifts I got this year. I like the majority of gifts I've gotten. But I guess what I don't like more than specific gifts is I don't like having to tell people what I want. Because I don't know. How am I supposed to know now what I'm going to want in a month? Also, why can't I just buy it for myself? Do I sound like a real cranky Jew? I probably, and this goes for, I'm not saying this only goes for Christmas. I'm saying this goes for birthdays, Father's Day and Mother's Day. I feel like parents do deserve something, even though it's usually a tie and breakfast in bed. Other than that, like really badass gifts, either I have to, like, maybe I like it, yeah, but who knows? Maybe I would have picked a different one out. Or maybe I want to get it, and then you get it for me too, and now you feel bad because I'm like, oh, I already have it. I have to return one. I'm not a huge fan of gifts. But seeing young children open gifts was just really cool. And it was, it's not the only reason I want to have kids, but I got really lucky. I have great parents. But my mom specifically loves kids, and I've been for years, convince her to let me just have a kid with someone and then give that child to my mother. But not in like an abandoning way. I'll see them on Tuesdays, but for like an hour, we'll get dinner, high five. I feel like maybe that should also be. I'm just changing the game here today. Grandparents, if they're good, should raise the kids while the adults, like the younger adults, sleep. That would be nice. And do things without getting into fights. Because I feel like, because this is, I haven't been around kids for that long of a time, and they're really cute, my girlfriend's kids, but I feel like hanging out with kids is sort of like living, especially if there's like siblings, it's like living in a Real Housewives episode forever, because either they love each other or they're fighting and crying, and I'm not sure what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know who's in trouble, but I feel like I should know. Or I want to know. Is that why people watch The Real Housewives? Like, I want to know who's in trouble. But we went over to my mom's last night, and my mom made them latkes and gave them so many presents, which was a blast. And then today, they got to meet Santa. Oh, this is one thing. I know that I'm Jewish, but I saw something kind of cool online, and it is Pornhub. No, of course I guess I closed it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I can. Here it is. This is something that I think would be kind of cool and I'll put the link in the description of this episode. There's something on, and you know what? USPS, you should include Hanukkah in this. Because I'm sure there are like an occasional Jew who needs help getting presents on Hanukkah. But there's something called USPS Operation Santa, and I found it on, what is it called? Post Secret, which, by the way, if you don't know what Post Secret is, just Google it. It's cool. I read it every Sunday. But I saw it posted on there, and what it seems like Operation Santa is, and this is also inspired by Steve Simone, because he's just so nice and always gets gifts for people in need. But what you do is kids write letters. The USPS OperationSanta.com, go there. You adopt letters. You say, okay, like, let me just pull up the first one that pops up. Someone named Jack needs, let's see, playing activities, I think. I feel like parents, you should be the one to write this out, because I'm not sure what that means. I don't know what a playing activity is. Someone named Owen, who is 14, might be a little bit old for Santa, but that's okay. You still deserve a gift, because you can't rent a car yet. He wants a digital Storm Lynx. I don't know what that means. Here's a problem. So let me just say this, but then I do have a thought on presents for kids. Go to USPSOperationSanta.com. This podcast is not sponsored by them. If you want to, I would love to. But what you do is you choose a family or an individual. You read their letter to Santa. You say, I'm going to adopt this letter. And you bring the gifts to a post office near you. And then the USPS helps Santa out, if there's any kids listening to this, and will help Santa and then deliver gifts to those kids or families from you. Because as much as I'm a pain in the butt and a grouch, I guess, kids deserve gifts on the holidays. So I just saw it and thought it was a cool thing and wanted to share it with you, because I just found out about it now. And I'm going to adopt a letter. Not a child, but a letter, and give them a gift. So that I just thought was really cool. But I've read through like 4 or 5 of them, and there's a lot. See, they ask for kids. It is amazing when you just think back, like, I didn't understand what money was, because like the first one is, this one's kind of funny. So this one said they want a golden retriever dog, but Santa knows that the dad won't let them have one, but Santa's the best, so if possible, they want a dog. It's a lot. It's a big. I'm seeing the dog one's actually kind of adorable, and I don't think you can ship a dog, but there's been a lot of like PS5s. I see this one. Daniel is 12, and he wants an iPhone 13 Pro Max 5G, which I think is the biggest one, and he would like either the 256 gigabyte, or if not that, he'd be okay with the 512 gigabyte. So Daniel, and he also wants a MacBook Pro. I like Lincoln Logs as a child. Maybe not 12, but, and I guess if I was 12 in 2021, I'd probably want an iPhone 13 Pro Max as well. But I just thought that was funny that, like, they're not asking for Legos. They're like, I want the biggest iPhone. So do I, Daniel. So do I. And I just think this USPS Operation Santa is pretty cool. So go check out their website. Don't forget to check out the websites of my sponsors, manscaped.com, and use promo code Syatt to get 20% off plus free shipping, and thefreezepipe.com and use code Lee to get 10% off of your order. They're great sponsors, and it's that time of year. I love all of you. I want to thank you again for watching and listening. In the new year, I will be definitely having guests on again. Just getting used to this new job, and the schedule's a little bit wacky. I hope all of you have a great week. We're getting close. This time next week, it'll be the 20th. Jesus. It's been 1 week. I don't remember that song. It's been a crazy year. Hopefully 2022 is a great year for you. I love you. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next week on What Was I Thinking?